Nigeria Qatar signed agreements on education, solid minerals and others. African Development Bank supports Nigeria with $134 million to cultivate rice, maize, cassava and soybeans. Oil rises after OPEC Plus extends cut. Japan's Nikkei smashes 40,000 barrier as investors await a China two sessions meeting outcome. And in the program today, economic benefits of Nigeria-Qatar bilateral relations and focus with Isho Aliu. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I'm Musa Bakar, your guide. Well, let's begin the program with bilateral relations. President Bola Tinubu is again assuring genuine investors that Nigeria will not compromise standards as the government is committed to business evolution in the country. The president said this at the Nigeria-Qatar Business Forum just held in Doha. State House correspondent Musbaut Wahab reports.
The stage was of the instance of a Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, and the Qatar Chambers of Commerce. But for President Bola Tinubu, this forum, with the prospect to boost trade relations, is a project Nigeria. As he led his team and top members of the Nigerian business sector, President Tinubu was here again, building confidence of foreign investors and the new environments being created for successful businesses through various reforms.
We have done so much within 9 months, and I'm assuring you, bring your investment. Whenever you are ready to go, your money is free to go out. I give you that assurance. And if you take advantage of all of these opportunities that is available, nowhere else will you find the greater rate of return that is available to you in Nigeria. Bring your investment.
Nigeria-Qatar trade volume hit over $80 million at the end of 2023. But President Tinubu believes this is just a starting point, with assurances that under his watch, investments are now safe in Nigeria.
Whatever is the obstacle or problem that some of you might have encountered in the past should be something of the past and no obstacle to the future. We have men and women of integrity seated across from you here to give you assurances that Nigeria is open for serious business.
Nigeria and Qatar are both rich in oil and gas, and now the countries share commitments toward diversification.
Reforms to improve industrialization, improve backward integration, value chain addition, skill development, MSME growth and development. All of these were aimed to ensure that when investments come in, there is a thriving environment to support those investments.
Our key sectors highlighted in our new national development strategy provides promising means of partnership and bilateral investments in the two countries in oil and gas, logistical services, SMEs, food and agriculture, and we look forward to cooperating with our Nigerian counterparts in these sectors so as to achieve our joint objectives.
The President is expecting a committee to be set up immediately to facilitate the implementation of agreements reached here.
Meanwhile, Nigerian investors have been commending President Bola Tinubu for his leadership in changing the wrong narrative and perception of Nigeria across the world. Businessmen who spoke after the Nigeria-Qatar Business Forum in Doha say the marketing drive being led by the president himself around the world will, in no distant time, yield positive results on Nigeria's economy.
President, as the Chief Investment Officer of the country, and the way he spoke today is really encouraging, even for some of us Nigerian investors that would not have looked at Qatar for partnership. I think this has really opened up a new avenue for funding for Nigerians.
Mr. President is the best salesman for Nigeria. He speaks about Nigeria with passion, with commitment, and this is what we need regardless of the challenges we are facing.
He made it clear here today that the era of making it difficult for foreign investors in Nigeria is over. All the various restrictions that most people have been worried about, the president have made further commitment emphatically that once you invest in Nigeria, if you want to take your investment out, you can do it. And this is most of the important thing most investors are looking at.
The slogan is, we are committing the protection of the investment. This slogan is very important. This will definitely give a boom to the investors.
He makes our business easy by telling the good of Nigerians and Nigeria. And he is the one chairing the business forum as a president himself. So what I'm assuring Nigeria is, inshallah, within a short period of time, maybe maximum 1 year, 2 years, everybody will start seeing the impact of what Mr. President is doing.
For us in the health sector, we're already unlocking the healthcare value chain, and we call on investors to invest across the chain, from diagnostics to pharmaceuticals to services to digital technologies to training of health workers. And we're going to make sure that investors have the opportunity, domestic investors, Nigerian companies, but also external investors who are friends of Nigeria, because we have a large market. And the assurance of the president is one that we will hold, and we would certainly deliver economic value, job opportunities, but also health security for Nigerians.
Nigeria is hoping for a prospective investment worth billions of dollars from young Qatari investors across various sectors. That was a major outcome of an engagement between Nigerian young investors and their Qatari counterparts. The engagement on the sidelines of the Nigeria-Qatar Business Forum was at the instance of the Nigerian Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Ibrahim Biu. The minister says the interface has been successfully used to convince the young Qatari international investors about the new climate of ease of doing business in Nigeria.
And the Qatar-Nigeria Business Council. And this engagement is looking very promising and has a lot of prospects of matching successfully the Nigerian entrepreneurs seeking investments and potential Qatari investors in sectors such as fintech, agriculture, manufacturing, and oil and gas. And there's potential actually of a $100 billion investment in the near future. We're leveraging on the MOUs that were signed between Nigeria and Qatar. We hope that we have a smooth implementation of this on the memorandum.
Nigeria grapples with the aftermath of economic shocks. The United Nations has stepped forward to extend a helping hand. This is as the United Nations President Coordinator resident coordinator in Nigeria has assured of the organization's readiness to explore all available channels to help Nigeria mitigate the effects of the current economic downturn, especially on vulnerable population. The UN envoy, who was on a courtesy visit to Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, said the partnership will enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of interventions.
I see a kind of need for us to go in this direction. And if this is the direction that is retained by the government, I wanted to guarantee you and assure you that one of my first action in this country will be to bring together all the assets that exist in UN. And this will help to make more visible any actions that government takes in this direction of reducing the impact of this economic shock.
Yes, we are facing temporal crisis occasioned by developments in the global economy. How can the UN system help? It can help any leader who is undertaking reform to communicate that reforms can be necessary. Necessary reforms may be felt.
Now let's see a summary on how Nigerian stocks fared last week as put together by Olayin Kaujo.
The NGX All-Share Index and market capitalization depreciated by 3.27% to close last week at 98,751.98 basis points and 54.035 trillion naira. A total turnover of 1.882 billion shares worth 34.149 billion naira in 48,464 deals were traded last week by investors on the floor of the exchange. The financial services industry led the activity chart with 1.275 billion shares valued at 20.427 billion naira in 24,801 deals, contributing 67.78% and 59.82% to the total equity turnover in volume and value. The conglomerates industry followed with 227.237 million shares worth 2.972 billion naira in 3,351 deals. The third place was the oil and gas industry with a turnover of 115.327 million shares worth 746.959 million naira in 2,704 deals. Trading in the top three equities were Transnational Corporation PLC, United Bank for Africa PLC, and Access Holdings PLC. A total of 39,238 units of exchange-traded products valued at 11.534 million naira were traded last week in 187 deals. For bonds, a total of 102,812 units valued at 96.120 million naira were traded in 46 deals. On summary of price changes, 27 equities appreciated in price during the week, 54 equities depreciated in price, while 72 equities remained unchanged. Olayin Kaujo for Business Express.
Next is Global Market Update with Bosede Abel.
To the global market review. Now, last week, regional markets ended the week higher after investors accessed fresh inflation data out of Eurozone. Headline consumer price index fell to 2.6% in February from January's 2.8%. Economists polled had forecast a headline reading of 2.5%. However, European market traded lower on Monday as investors looked ahead to the upcoming interest rate decision from the European Central Bank. DAX dipped 0.10%, FTSE 0.45%, while CAC 40 of France topped 0.03%. Asia market closed above 400,000 mark on Monday to set a new record high after the S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite hit fresh all-time high on Friday. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index topped 0.50%, Shanghai Composite 0.14%, and the Hang Seng Index also rose 0.04% across 16,595.97. Futures in the U.S. fell Monday after tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite posted a record high Friday, breaking its 2021 record as stocks attempt to continue their week-long rally. Futures on the Dow Jones, S&P, and Nasdaq also closed red, while it was mostly positive for most African markets. South Africa, Tunisia, and Namibia's composite all traded positive to close Monday's trade. That's the Global Market Review. I am Bossede Able. Back to you, Musa.
Thank you, Bossede. Well, Business Express returns tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.